The Lakers look a lot different this year, and it seems their identity for the past few years is now gone. Defense. Led by Frank Vogel, the Lakers have been at the top of the league when it comes to defense. But now it seems like that's about to change. The Lakers got another star in Russell Westbrook this offseason. But in order to do that, they had to give up a lot. They gave up two of their best perimeter defenders in KCP and Kyle Kuzma. They also lost another good defender, Alex Caruso, during free agency. And they didn't really get anybody to replace that defense. Let's start at the backcourt. They have Ellington, Malik Monk, Rondo, Kendrick Nunn, Avery Bradley, and of course Russell Westbrook. Other than Westbrook and Bradley, these are all weak defenders. Even Westbrook often takes it easy on defense to conserve energy. But he has the physical tools to be a good defender and is actually good when he's focused. Bradley was a good defender the last time he was on the Lakers, but since then, he's bounced around teams and hasn't played a lot of meaningful minutes. The fact that he's on an unguaranteed contract shows the confidence the Lakers have in him. Kendrick Nunn does come from the Miami Heat, a team with strong defensive culture, but overall, this is still a weak backcourt defensively. Now the small forwards. We have Trevor Ariza, Bazemore, THT, and LeBron. Ariza is probably the only true small forward, and he's a solid defender. But at his age, it's not fair to expect him to be a lockdown defender night after night. Same goes for LeBron. He has to conserve his energy, and he was supposed to move up to the power forward position. It's only because Ariza is injured that LeBron is now playing the 3. THT and Bazemore could easily be guards, but that is another issue. The Lakers have no other small forward, so these two have to play up in position. Now they do have insane wingspans, and that will help them to do so. But still, they're only 6'4", and they will have trouble when they are matched up with bigger players. Now let's look at the bigs. All three of them are great rim protectors, and they are good at doing things traditional centers are expected to do. Blocking shots, getting rebounds. And of course, Anthony Davis, a freak of nature. He's a great defender at any position. But the other two struggle when they have to defend outside of the paint. DeAndre Jordan is terrible when he switches to a smaller man. Dwight is better at it, but sometimes he gets too physical and he gets into foul trouble. I think their best defenders are AD, Kent Bazemore, Avery Bradley if he's still the same player from 2020, and LeBron James in spurts. Everyone else is either a liability on defense or not that great. That's a scary thought, especially when we've been accustomed to the Lakers being great defensively the past few years. And what's worse is that the defenders that they do have are meant to guard either bigs or small players. They don't really have anybody to guard the players in between. The average height in the NBA is about 6'6". That means most players that you'll run into, most players that you'll have to defend, are wing players. And the Lakers don't really have anyone to guard those positions. The guys we have are either too small, too slow, or guys you don't want expending too much energy on that end. For example, LeBron. You can have the best defensive scheme in the world, but if you don't have the defenders or the size to implement that scheme, or the personnel able to simply stop the opposing players, then you're gonna have a bad defense. We're already seeing the effects of the lack of defenders. And I think the Lakers are gonna have to make a move sooner or later to acquire more size and more defense in the wings. In the meantime, what the Lakers can do is try to force players off of the three-point line and into the paint, where they'll have good rim protection, at least when they have their big lineup. And due to their lack of capable wings, they're going to have to play a bigger lineup a lot of the time. And when they are playing their bigger lineup, they must win the rebounding battle. I think their best defensive lineup will be Russ, THT, Bazemore, LeBron, and AD. Again, they are very undersized at the wing positions, but this lineup can be physical and is very good at rebounding. Also, this lineup has an average 7'1" wingspan, which can definitely be a disruptive force on defense. They can get into passing lanes, cause deflections, and potentially increase their fast break opportunities. And although this lineup doesn't really have any lights out shooters, it will still have good spacing and be dynamic on the offensive end as well. If we really expect to be contenders, our defense needs to be championship level defense. But as currently constructed, it is unlikely that we can reach that level.